The President of Ukraine is a state institution that, in a way, is studied just like any other institution. And perhaps you have some perspective you could share on how you see your time in office, for instance, divided into certain stages. Because people often say that it also depends on the people around the president. How would you describe your period of presidency? How do you feel it? I have this feeling like I am 70 years old and we have gathered for my anniversary. And I came in and now you are seeing me off into retirement. How did it happen that you lived to this age? And I have to answer these questions. How can I divide my presidency into stages? COVID and the war, that is my presidency. 2 stages. I became president, and in the first year of my presidency there was a blow across the whole world and a blow to Ukraine when COVID began. I did not see any other presidency. I saw a presidency only in COVID, and I fought COVID like all our people. We came up with many different things like other leaders did. We built medical infrastructure that we did not have. We had no preparation for COVID. And in my view, judging by the number of losses, unfortunately, we were among the best in Europe. This is not my merit, it is our doctors, of course. But there was a lot of technology in what I tried to bring in. I created the Ministry of Digital Transformation. That had never existed. Thanks to the first 3 months, when I started digitalization. And thanks to the team, I launched DR. And then, during COVID, we were able to rely simply on digitalization. Of course, no one was preparing digitalization for COVID, but it appeared that's how it is, it just happened that way, right? Although, of course, the task, our presidential program, when I was running, I wanted a state in a smartphone. And basically, what you use today simply did not exist before 2019. This is not only about me. I came with this idea. Of course, it's a large number of IT specialists and so on. Mihailo, the whole team, everyone helped a lot, but the idea was exactly this. How to move away from any risks, fewer contacts with bureaucratic or corrupt people, and so on, fewer contacts with people. What is this? This is digitalization. We wanted to develop it more, and then COVID came, as I said. And then the full-scale war interrupted COVID almost immediately. So it was 2022. And it was the 3rd year of my presidency, that is, half the term. And there was a full-scale war. And here again many tools helped that we had built. Our cities and villages were blockaded. Our banks were working. Just imagine, the enemy occupies, the heroic military stand around holding the city, the enemy occupies entrances and so on. And inside there is connection. Inside there was food, bank cards were working. This is a great deal of work that had been built before that. For example, we had one of the best defenses against cyber attacks. That's because in the very first year of my presidency, we began to build a cyber shield. When the full-scale war began, they brought down all the websites of the National Bank and so on. They wanted to bring them down. We restored everything quickly. And this is a real built shield that you do not see. I am not talking about you personally, you know. I mean, a person simply does not see something until this something breaks. So I believe that Ukraine's technological capacity was the most important issue, and during the war we demonstrated it. By the way, what we built there, DR City, we did not let the IT specialists go because we understood that IT specialists, with all due respect, are not ready to be there like everyone else. I mean even in terms of tax conditions. We made it so that they could work in such a place, we made such a space for them. Not because IT is a priority and energy is not. It is winter now, energy is crucial now. But that is not the point. The point is that a digital space was created. That made it possible to keep a large number of people connected to software and programming and so on. And then this gave results during the full-scale war and so on. I mean many technological things, including drones. Why, in general, in Ukraine? Because many engineers, technologists, and so on, those who remained, they all worked for Ukraine. And, excuse me, for the war, for defense against this war. And therefore I believe that if you are talking about what there is and what will be, I think it is not for nothing that our enemy could not occupy our state. As hard as it was for us, we defended independence, we defended ourselves. And today we strike their energy sector in response. We have drones and missiles. None of this existed before. These are people, not me. But probably I created the atmosphere. Or I was one of those people who came and gave these opportunities to people who are certainly talented and were able to show themselves in this very difficult time. A time of war. All the countries across the European continent. And these are their thoughts, none of them would have held out. Simply none of them. And, of course, our heroic military are number one. But everything else is also important. And so I think that's basically it. And so, when we say, who is around the president, whether he is open or not open? I have always been very open, by the way, just always. I just did not always turn on the camera. And if we come to the point in life where trust in a person depends on whether they turn on the camera or whether they communicate partly on social networks, then, unfortunately, that's how it is. It turns out that if you do not do your marketing, then trust simply falls because people do not see something. There are many advantages in social networks because the world lives in social networks, it is normal. You cannot just ban social networks the way they do in Russia. Why? Because you're simply refusing the world. You are alone on an iceberg. It means something not normal is happening to you, so you cannot refuse this. But analysis and analytics must be in your head. You need to trust people even if you do not see them or do not know them. You need to study, verify information, there is a lot of different disinformation and so on. I do not believe that the president is more open or more closed because there are more photos. By the way, I always perceive communication, as you said, with representatives of civil society. Yes, I just do not have time for coffee, for tea. I just don't have time for 300 blogs a day. There just will not be enough electricity for this. You can, of course, be a cool blogger and then that's it. I'm simply in such a position now. Not because I'm cool or not. Of course, it is better to be cool, but nevertheless, I just do not have time for it. And the people around you are a team. The team works and it changes. This is completely normal. People are different. Some are good, some are not so good, some are tired, some are burned out, some are stuck in some kind of nonsense. That is what life is. These people who work for the state, they are the same living people as you. And that's it. And you just need to treat it normally. Everyone around is human, everyone eats the same way, everyone works the same way, everyone learns and makes mistakes. It is just that the price of a mistake where I work is the highest. And that's it.